Welcome to the second film in our Windows series. In it, we explain how windows are classified and look at some of the most common types of window. Windows are generally classified according to method of opening, frame material, or glazing type. Here, you can see the most common type of window fitted in Germany. It can be opened in two different directions, by tilting and by turning, and is known as a tilt and turn window. In elevation drawings, this type of window is represented by two isosceles triangles with their bases running along the axis of rotation and their points indicating the center of the opening side. Pivot windows rotate about a horizontal or vertical central axis. In elevation drawings, they are shown by means of a diamond and the axis of rotation. Pivot windows look elegant and have a large ventilation cross-section, but can project intrusively into the interior space. Sliding windows have a sliding panel that slides back and forth in front of or behind a fixed panel. This type of window is used primarily for patio doors. They're shown in drawings by means of an arrow on the sliding panel indicating the direction of sliding. Curtain wall parallel opening windows were much in vogue a few years ago, but are now less common. These windows open outwards parallel to the window plane thanks to scissor-type hinges. They're indicated on elevation drawings by means of a diagonal cross. Once upon a time, windows were made to measure in wood by carpenters. Today, wooden windows are produced industrially. The main advantage of using wood lies in its low heat conductivity, which ensures low transmission heat loss through the window frame. The disadvantage is the relatively low weather resistance of wooden windows, which need regular maintenance. The emergence of iron and steel in the 19th century saw the advent of metal window frames. Their high rigidity makes it possible to produce slim profiles and so an elegant look. The difficulty with these metal frames is the high heat conductivity of steel, which can result in significant transmission losses and the formation of condensation. Constructing steel window frames with a thermal break is an expensive business. Aluminium window frames have a thermal break that reduces the level of heat transfer. Inner and outer frames are connected by means of a plastic strip with a much lower heat conductivity than the aluminium. Aluminium windows also weigh less than steel windows, are less costly to produce, and are resistant to aging without maintenance. Plastic or UPVC windows have been available for the last 50 years or so. They eliminate high levels of heat transfer but need a steel core to reinforce the frames, which gives them a heavy, bulky look. They are also unpleasant to the touch. Unfortunately, they are extremely cheap and so widely used despite their poor environmental credentials. Glass has a very high thermal conductivity and so represents the major weak point in a heat-insulated building shell. In the 1950s, double glazing was developed to address this issue. Double glazing consists of two panes of glass separated by a cavity filled with air or gas. It significantly improves thermal insulation. Just over 10 years ago, a further improvement came along in the form of triple glazing. It uses three rather than the previous two panes of glass separated by two cavities filled with air or gas. Triple glazing is an excellent solution wherever a very good energy rating is required. Before the invention of double glazing, box-type windows were used to improve thermal insulation. They consist of two panes of glass positioned some 10 to 20 centimeters apart and can still be found in some historical buildings. Today, box-type windows are constructed with an inner double or triple glazed window and an outer single pane to form a cavity, which is then ventilated. These box-type windows can be useful where a high level of sound insulation is required and to protect a sunscreen against wind damage by installing it between the two layers of glazing. Summary: windows are classified according to method of opening, frame material, and glazing type. The most common type of window is the tilt and turn window. It opens in two different directions by tilting and by turning. Other types of window include pivot windows, sliding windows, and curtain wall parallel opening windows. Wood, aluminium, and UPVC are all commonly used for window frames. Industrially produced UPVC windows are inexpensive and widely used despite their poor environmental credentials. Due to the high heat conductivity of glass, single glazing has now been superseded by double and even triple glazing to improve thermal insulation. Please take a look at the third film in our Windows series. In it, we explain how tilt and turn windows are constructed.